And I remember that the last message that I sent Ailey was, we've been, and I think I copied the jingle with the message. We've been under the storm for 4 hours. We've been battered for 4 hours, and the worst is not even here. And after that, electricity went out, the cell phone towers went out, and we didn't have communication again for about 6 days. And afterwards, well, it was total, I mean, you people were seeing what was happening to Puerto Rico more than we were, because we didn't have communication. We had one AM radio station, that only one, for like 7 or 8 days, because we didn't have television, and we didn't, there wasn't any other radio station. Just one AM station survived, and that was our news for 7 days. And it took us about 7 days. Finally, I was able to call Adam, my brother, and I was able to call Eddie and tell them, hey, we made it. We're on the other side of the storm, and then, then began, there's no fuel. The 8 and 9 hour lines for fuel. There's lines, 8 and 9 hour lines to buy water, to buy, food. The towns that are in the mountains are totally devastated. Still, 20-some days after the storm, they are not receiving help. It's hard to get up there. People are getting sick because of there's not any clean water. But our families were spared. Thank God, our families were spared. And I'm talking about our immediate family. My mother and my brother and my sister. One of my sisters was in Italy. She was unable to get home. I mean, she arrived. She got as far as New York, and she had to wait for a week getting before she was able to get home. So she was going crazy because she knew what was going on, but she couldn't get home to make sure that Mom was okay. But they're okay. We're okay. Puerto Rico has been working hard. We are resilient. I've told you individually, and many of you have told you this, but it's true. We're a very resilient people. Very resilient people. We're strong. We bend, but we don't break. And we're, most of the initial cleaning up was done by the people, not by the government, not by FEMA. We cut ourselves out of our houses, and we cleaned the highways ourselves, but we cleaned the roads, and we made the roads accessible again. There's never been so much neighborliness, so much camaraderie as now. People are talking to each other again. The nights, there's no electricity. So you see the neighbors getting together out in the street at about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock when it's totally dark. The flashlights and the lamps start coming out. The chairs start coming out. We sit and we talk. We hadn't done that in 30 or 40 years. So that's happening a lot. People are helping each other. You walk down the street and you see electric extension cords crisscrossing the streets. It's people with generators helping people that don't have generators. Sending them an extension cord so they can connect their refrigerator or their fans so they can sleep at night. So that is something. The Lord works in mysterious ways, because you're seeing more love. You're seeing more people willing to help other people, and that is good. And we need all the help we can get. News on television sometimes is totally misinformation. We need all the help we can get. We're years away from getting anywhere close to where we used to be. Yesterday, I got a phone call from my wife, and after 23 days, there's electricity at my daughter's house. That's where we're staying, because we live on the beach, and as most of you know, and well, of course it was devastated. So We've been in my daughter's house since the storm. And the electricity went. It's not, they don't have electricity, but it's a sign that it's close. You know, when that happens, usually in a couple days, they restore it and it stays on. So where I live and where our family lives up in Canolanias and Carolina or in Sidra, that's going to take a while. And their estimates, it says it's going to take a year, and I'm not surprised that it will take that, or much more for many places on the island to get electricity again. We need a lot of prayer. Because sometimes it gets desperate. And I appreciate my cousins who I was in continuous communication with. Not only because I called them and I said, we need stuff, but it was good to listen to them. Because the desperation that you feel when there isn't anything, I don't think any of you can imagine when you look around and there's just nothing. You can't go anywhere for help because everywhere it's the same. So I would call Ellie, or I would text Jingo, and and not every time I was able to get a hold of them, but when their texts came in, or when I was able to contact him, and they were like anchors, because I felt like somebody somewhere could help us. So I appreciate it. I'm sorry that I'm so emotional. I told Ellie I think that I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder because it's the everyday stress of having to deal with everything. You know, I have an office that's probably going to go down the drain. There's nothing to do. Lawyers don't have anything to do. The courts are closed. They've been closed for a month. They're going to be closed for a long time because most of those buildings are destroyed. Most of them don't have energy to run. But, you know, our family is well. You know, we're scraping. There's, you know, if my wife makes a 5-hour line in Costco and we able to buy water, well then we'll share the water.